In the past, people thought that Disney was going to pull the plug on Ironheart because there's really not an interest in this sort of thing. Because you have to understand, this was announced at a time when Disney was trying to push the MCU in a different direction, shoehorning in diverse characters for the sake of a political agenda. And I know there's going to be some people out there saying like, they're not shoehorned in for a political agenda. This is diverse characters that were from the comic books. It's like, yes, the comic books that were shoehorning in diverse characters for a political agenda. And guess what? It didn't work out for those comic books either. But perhaps Disney was thinking, this is the MCU. Following Endgame, we can't do no wrong. We can push our political agenda and people will still consume our product. Well, come to find out, that hasn't been the case. Not only at the box office, where they've been losing money on their movies the last couple of years, but also on their Disney Plus platform, where people can watch their shows for free and they still choose not to watch them. So that's why people were thinking like, okay, maybe they're going to pull the plug on Ironheart, reevaluate what they're doing, and then move forward with the MCU. But it was shocking when they announced like, no, this show is actually moving forward. And then they released the first trailer for it, and it didn't go over too well with audiences. So much so that just a couple weeks later, they decided to release another trailer for it. And while it seemed like they were directly addressing some of the criticisms that people had with the first trailer, it still didn't go over too well. As you can see on the official Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel, it's currently ratioed with 44,000 likes to 64,000 dislikes. And it's not just the trailer either. It's pretty much everything that they're releasing on this series. You can see this behind the scene featurette that they released a couple days ago, and that's ratioed at 4.1K likes to 6.8K dislikes. So with this in mind, you have to question, why are they continuing on with this show if they know that there's really no audience for this sort of thing? And the only thing that I can think of is that they have a political agenda that they're trying to push with this show, and that's why they're insisting on doing it, even though they know it's going to lose money for them. Some people might think like, oh no, you're just being hyperbolic. That can't be the case. But if that's not the case, then why are they doing this? Marvel's Ironheart spotlights winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star in wealth redistribution storyline. Yeah, that doesn't sound like they're trying to push a political agenda at all. Marvel Studios' Ironheart will introduce a drag character referred to as They that promotes a Robin Hood style narrative centered on redistributing wealth from the privileged to the underprivileged communities. Okay, first of all, people like to do, like especially communist types, like to try to co-opt Robin Hood and say like, oh, it's about redistributing wealth. Like, no, it's trying to avoid paying taxes. That's the whole story of Robin Hood. He's robbing from the tax collectors and giving the money back to the people, their rightful money. There's no way a communist would actually support that sort of thing. So they try to change the meaning of the story, or try to change what the story was about in order to fit their agenda about how it's about wealth redistribution. If you want to actually be a Robin Hood story, then you should avoid trying to pay taxes or tell a story about that sort of thing. But no, they would never do that because that doesn't actually fit their agenda. In a new interview with Entertainment Weekly, it was confirmed that Shea Coulee, winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, will play Slug in Ironheart, a character described as a fierce hacker who works with a group of underground activists in Chicago. Like I said, this just screams of trying to just pander to your base of far left activist types. Maybe that's why they're pushing this show. They understand that the people who would only watch this show are other far left activist types who like this diversity and agenda being shoved down their throat. So they're just trying to pander to them. Unfortunately for Marvel, they're probably spending way more money on this show than what that audience could actually bring in for them. I help a group of urban Robin Hoods to take away from the privilege and help give back to the community, Coulee told EW. I'm there to help out on all the missions that go down, trying to shift this power dynamic in this version of Chicago we see in the show. Coulee stated that Slug identifies as they. The Ironheart character also has a drag backstory, though the show reportedly treats it as part of the past, revealed in flashbacks. Yes, because that's something that people were thinking. When I first watched the original Avengers movie, I was thinking, like, you know what this movie needs? It needs more drag stars in it. I mean, honestly, did anyone actually think that this is something that Marvel is needed? But no, it's current year. So apparently you have to shove a bunch of them drag stars in it or something like, okay, maybe not a bunch, but at least one. You need to have at least one token drag star for a Marvel show. Marvel had not released additional character details beyond the Entertainment Weekly feature, but Coulee shared that Slug will play a behind-the-scenes role, offering tech support for the group. Rather than joining direct combat, I'll drive the getaway car, hang out in the van on my cute laptop with my fierce nails, and help you hack these mainframes. Hack the mainframes. People still use that term. This character is an original creation for the Disney Plus series and not appeared in the Marvel comic. So you can't even make the argument that they're just faithfully adapting the comic books. This character is only in this show, in this role right here, just to push a political agenda or just to push some type of agenda. And that's it. Now, like I said earlier, when it comes to this one, they have to know that there's not an audience for this, or at least there's not a sizable audience for this sort of thing within Marvel series. The only reason they're doing it, like I said, is because they understand that they've pretty much alienated their audience that are like, all right, we've already alienated the audience for this, or a large section of the audience. People aren't going to watch our stuff anyway, so we might as well just do whatever we want to do when it comes to the show. So if you're one of the people who was holding out hope that maybe they could actually turn things around, or at least turn things around on this show, you're probably going to be disappointed. It's not going to be like the glory days of the MCU. Those days are still far beyond right now, and it's looking like from other reports coming out of the MCU that we're not going to have any success in the near future. At least they're not going to go back to the old days of the MCU in the near future, because we heard about when it comes to the upcoming X-Men movie that they're going to be doing, Bob Iger is actually wanting to be more politically neutral on it. Meanwhile, Kevin Feige's kind of butting heads with him because he wants to use it as an opportunity to push a political agenda. I already made a video talking about that one in the past, but Kevin Feige seems to be the one at the studio trying to use Marvel to push a political agenda. That hasn't always been the case when he was operating under Ike Perlmutter, but since Ike Perlmutter left the studio, it's just been Kevin Feige, and that's basically been Kevin Feige since post-Endgame, all the times that everything has kind of gone downhill. So you've heard reports, I've even talked about it in the past, that they got rid of a lot of the activists at the studio, and maybe things were going to turn around from that. But the activists were brought in by Kevin Feige with the sole purpose of trying to push his political agenda, and when things started going south, he basically just put all the blame on them, kicked them out, but meanwhile, he's still doing the exact same thing. So this is a series that I am not expecting much from. I'm curious what the actual viewership for it is going to be after its release. But if it actually is successful for them, it's not going to be anywhere near of what we used to see with the MCU. But I'm not really thinking that we're going to get that. I'm thinking that this is just going to be a DOA show. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.